One. Hello, everybody. How are you doing today? It is a new day. It's a fresh day. I hope you're up, shaking, and baking. I used to always say that all the guests on the Paul Full podcast are fascinating and amazing people. And this is no exception of the rule. I met this gentleman on Instagram. No, not on Instagram. I first read up. Pascal, I used to read your tweets first on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, this guy has very strong opinions, first of all. Very intense opinions. Like, the reason why you are poor is because you're not doing this. I'm like, yo! Then he now said that he drops a lot of his sauce more on TikTok. So I followed him. I bought fuel. I began to follow him on TikTok. So I said, I'll follow this guy everywhere he's going to. And I was listening to his stuff. I was like, yo, this brother is dope. And then I like, no, I need to bring him on the podcast. And he has a very interesting high income skill. It's called the skill of copywriting, where he earns in thousands of dollars all over the world. This guy has clients all over the world. You know, with the internet, you can be a one-man business, but you can be a multinational because this guy has clients all over the world. All right. So, Mr. Pascal, welcome to the Paul Full podcast. How are you doing, my brother?
I'm doing very well. I'm glad to be here, honestly.
Great. So tell us a bit about your story, because following you and researching you, this is not your first business. Because I want people to know that, hey, Pascal is not Pascal today because he has been doing business since. Some of them failed. So what's your favorite business failure, and what did you learn from that experience that has brought you to where you are right now?
Well, I've tried my hands on a wide range of business. I've tried over at minimum 15 businesses up to now.
Whoa.
Yeah, so
15!
including brick and mortar. At a point, I even owned a laundry.
Whoa!
I owned a laundry.
This guy's a hustler. I love it.
It's not a today thing. I've worked in a bakery. Every sort of thing you can think of, I've tried before even transitioning online. So the first thing I tried doing online is mini importation in 2018, 2019.
Yeah.
When it was still hot. Where I was still in the university, I think 300 or 400 level. I would be importing electric fans, battery powered hand fans.
Yes.
So I'll import it and then distribute it to students. I made a small group chat. I would post screenshots of these things there in the group chat, and you see people in 100 level, 200 levels picking up items and selling and making money for themselves, and I am the supplier. So that was basically
Beautiful.
how I started off, and my lecturers all knew me for business and all that. So
Wow.
when it comes to failure, I've also tried startups. As a matter of fact, I currently I'm trying to scale a platform right now. It's called Send.
Okay.
So it's kind of an email marketing software. It's the hardest thing I've ever tried my hands on. It's the toughest business toughest market I've entered by a far margin. So before that, I've tried building an affiliate platform.
Okay.
And the competition was very steep, and I didn't have the necessary experience to navigate that market. So
Yeah.
unfortunately, it failed. I've tried a lot of things that failed, and it's not something I'm ashamed of. I've tried a lot of things that has failed. But out of all these things, I realized something. Business can always fail. It's normal everywhere in the world. But if you have a skill, that skill serves as a basis. It serves as a launch pad for anything you want to do. It serves as a stability factor for you. As a copywriter, I make money from my copywriting skill, but copywriting allows me to understand marketing. It allows me to understand client management. It allows me to understand how human beings buy and behave.
Yeah.
It's easy for me to, once I get an idea, I put together a small team, we'll try something out. So I'm still very young, and I believe that over time, the more I try these things, I will eventually find what I'm looking for. But at the core, I have a skill that I've been honing and developing, and that is what gives me leverage to easily venture out into anything I want to do.
This is so beautiful. This is so beautiful.
Yeah.
There is in researching you, there was one of your videos where you said, can't remember the particular year. People were screaming Happy New Year, but you were in your room. It was dark. You were saying to yourself, God, when will this thing change? You're smiling because you remember that story. Was that a breaking point for you? Because everyone gets to that point where you be like, man, this thing will not repeat itself again. Was that the day you put the line on the sun and say, I will never be broke another day of my life again?
No, I had to record that video. I still have it on my Snapchat, and every once in a while, that's good thing about Snapchat. You can easily pull up anything.
Yeah.
I still go back and look at it and look at myself now, and I'll just laugh. But that was a point where, like, people were traveling for Christmas and everything. I do not have the transport to move myself from where I am to my family, and I have ego and pride, and I cannot ask for that money. As a first child, I have a lot of responsibility.
That's right.
And I tried to meet up the best I could. So imagine this guy that's been always taking care of the family and everything, and suddenly you're asking from who exactly are you going to ask? So I just tell, I'm busy. I have something I'm working on. I'm busy. But inside, I was done. I was done for. So it got to a point I was hearing people, Happy New Year, knockouts, all these things. The same thing we are going to experience in the next 20 days.
Exactly.
I was just in there, nothing, no plans, no prospects, nothing going on. I just had to change strategy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I know a lot of people are in that position even as we speak.
I'm saying, in fact, this recording is coming at the perfect time. I think it's God's timing for this recording, because a lot of people are in that place right now.
Most people watching this right now, if you're at that point, one thing I can tell you is this: if you've been trying one thing and it's not working, let go of the pride, try something else.
Come on now.
Maybe you've been building a name in one particular industry and it's not favoring you anymore, or you've lost the drive to continue. Let go of all those things. Let go of the name. Let's go build again.
Come on now. Come on now.
Something else. So that was at a point where, at a point, I was fully into affiliate marketing.
Yeah.
I moved from selling and importing products and selling mobile phones and all these things to marketing. That was my first introduction to marketing. I had a little bit of, progress with it, but at the time it did not fit the plans I had for myself. It didn't fit into the future I was trying to build. So it's not like I didn't like the business or I'm not capable of. I stopped putting in effort because I didn't see an end goal for me there.
Come on now.
So it kind of diminished my income. I was like, when I was finding success with this stuff, one thing helped me. I learned copywriting in the process of doing affiliate marketing.
Oh,
and that was what.
When
I came into affiliate marketing, people were doing then. You see people saying they do 250,000 naira in a month.
Yeah.
They do 500,000 in a month. They do this in a month. I came in there. I bought a course. I learned everything there is to learn about affiliate marketing. But I noticed they were doing something differently. I'm generally curious. So I was asking myself, how can I do? I'm a very competitive person. How can I do more? How can I outpace these guys? So when I started looking at videos, one thing leads to the other. I stumbled across copywriting as a way to improve my marketing campaigns and all that. I studied it. Then over the next 1 or 2 months, I was trying different things. Then I launched a campaign. I wrote a copy. I launched a campaign. In 4 days, I did 1.4 million naira.
Come on now. Come on now.
For the first time in Nigeria, on that particular affiliate platform, I was the first person to pull those numbers. People have been pulling 500K a month. I did 1.4 million naira in 4 days. I had to be invited to Lagos to actually claim the money because they didn't want to pay out. It was unusual. That was my first encounter with Toyin, Mr. Toyin on Motor Show.
On Motor Show, yeah.
It changed my life. I'll still give him credit for that. So that was my first exposure to the internet and making money online. So that skill that gave me that head start, copywriting, which I went in on, I decided to, I don't have anything else going on for me. Let me dial down on this skill and actually start applying those things. Like you said, you use it for your own personal business. So I moved from that to freelancing, using it for other people's business and helping them. In fact, last month alone, the client I work with, we did over $100,000 on their campaign.
Wow.
So I've worked with financials, I've worked with gym fitness coaches, I've worked with sales coaches, I've worked with several people, and I've been exposed to different people in different countries that if I decide right now that I want to go to Australia, I have a client I have built enough relationship that could actually give me an invitation. Understand? So copywriting exposure to people, when you help somebody we change somebody's business, we help them get results, automatically they like you.
I'm hearing a few things here. Number one was that copywriting was a sub skill.
Yes.
Within the skill of affiliate marketing.
Yes.
Then you realize that, this sub skill was what made me hit over 1 million. And then you just double down on it. You reminded me of what Charlie Munger said. He said that when you discover that the odds are in your favor, bet heavily on it.
Yeah. And I don't regret.
You did it, man. Oh yeah, it's so good. It's so good. So let's. This is like a beautiful masterclass. I love the way it's flowing now. So if copywriting, you now started doubling down on copywriting, I'm sure the question in the mind of our listeners will be, so what is copywriting? Because they don't even know that they are copywriters themselves in their businesses. Yeah. They don't even know that they write an headline. They don't even know that they write a sub-headline. They don't even know that they use maybe the pastor framework or the PASS framework. They know they are unconsciously competent, as it were.
Yes.
Great. So what is copywriting from the guru himself? So just break it down do this as if you're talking to primary school children so that the average business person understands it.
So this is a question I get on TikTok all the time.
I know.
And I've answered this question more than
plenty times. I know.
So I have an analogy, because copywriting, a proper definition of copywriting is salesmanship in print.
Yes, that is the guy that wrote Scientific Advertising, Claude Hopkins.
Yeah.
Great guy. So, yeah.
If I'm to explain it to a layman, I would say, for example, you walk into a boutique shop. A receptionist is there trying to help you understand what you need and help you, point you to the right aisle, all these things. You pick up something, you are trying to make decision on 2 different items. They are showing you the advantages and disadvantages of this one. They're not necessarily trying to sell you, they're trying to help you come to a decision.
That's right.
So at the end, there's no way you're going to walk out of that shop establishment without buying something.
Yes, sir.
When you come and you're presented with several options, you are confused. Somebody needs to narrow your search and help you make a decision. Now, that is you walking into a physical establishment. Businesses are going online, and it is impossible to have someone, do all those things.
This guy's good.
It's impossible to have someone do all those things. So you need to put together a marketing message that will do the job of a physical help.
Come on now.
When you walk into a website, you're looking at different images. You're looking at an e-commerce shop. You're looking at varieties. You're looking at sizes. you're looking at merit, you're looking at benefits, you're looking at promises. So those marketing messages need to help you see the big picture and the small picture, and how all of these pictures can align to your personal goals. So the person, the copy, whatever you see on that website, whatever you see on that funnel, the goal is to help you make a decision that not only favors you but favors the business itself.
Right, so good.
Understand?
So
So copywriting is putting down words on paper or on a website that people can read and be convinced that the thing they are trying to buy is actually good for them. So they will spend
this
money
is
on the business.
so good. This is
So
so
that's
good.
like the way I can explain it to anybody can understand. Being able to put information down so that when somebody reads it, they will buy. Simple. And they will
So
buy faster.
yes, truer words could not have been spoken, Pascal. This is so true. So that means that as a business, when you are writing your copy, write it as if you're actually holding the person's hand and explaining what it is that you do.
They need to be totally clear. And once in a while, in fact, a lot of times, we need to understand what motivates people. You know, when
To
people
buy.
talk about copywriting, talking about psychology, but you need to find out what makes people buy.
Yeah.
But different things make people buy. And all of them boil down to emotion that comes with your business, that comes with the particular stuff you're selling. What might motivate someone to buy from a particular company might be different from what motivates another person to buy from a different company. When it comes to purchasing a vehicle, a lot of it has to do with status symbol. You understand?
That's right.
When it comes
That's right.
to buying a home, it can also be status. You understand? There are other things like looking fit,
Yeah.
losing weight.
Yeah.
It could say things like insecurity or wanting to just look better. Understand? So these are services, these are products. So different emotions. You need to, as a copywriter, you need to understand the emotions that can get people to buy faster. If you don't
Yeah, that
understand the
trigger.
emotions and you use the wrong emotions, you lose them. So it's a delicate process.
It is. Very, 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 very. I love the fact that when you said that it's not only the functionality that makes a person buy a car, it's the psychological triggers of the status. I mean, even you, the gym, because I follow you a lot. The gym that you go to is iFitness gym. So it's not a cheap gym. I see the gym. So some people, if they are working at the back of their house, they may not post all those pictures. Did you get that? So everything matters in the marketing process that you do. I love what you just said. Now, Pascal, what are some of the books? I mean, I've seen you recommend some of those books. What is the one book that you have gifted to people the most, or recommended to people the most, and why?
One book comes to mind every time. And that is a book that started me off on my career as a copywriter. This book, it just helps you understand the actual reasons why people buy the things they buy. The emotions that is attached to every decision they make.
Yeah.
And the hierarchy of the emotions.
First of all, guys, Pascal, before you go on, everybody here, if you are listening to me right now, listen to it on Spotify, on YouTube, on every platform, guys, spread this everywhere. I'm begging you in the name of God, just go to TikTok and follow this gentleman. I'm going to put the link to his page on TikTok and follow this guy. His page is a university on psychology. Trust me, I visit his page. Like, steady. The guy has bombs in that page. All right, go ahead, bro. Yeah.
So that one book is this book. I always have it open. This is the
Cashvertising. Yes. Very good book.
It's a book. If you can read it 10 times, every single time you read it, you walk out with something new.
That's like your copywriting Bible.
Yeah, this book efficiently separates emotions into categories that if you read it, you will see it in the first chapter. And
Yeah.
that is the basis upon which every other thing about copywriting is built on. It's like the foundation that you need to understand. Then the second book I recommend as a substitute is Scientific Advertising, where you've understood the emotions from reading cash advertising. How do you now play with these biases? What should
I
come
like that.
first?
I
How
like
do
that.
you measure those results? Marketing has been done for so many years that rules have now been established. Conclusions have now been made on if you use this word, this is kind of responses you should expect.
That's right.
You now know the words from reading cash advertising. You now know which one to use based on scientific conclusions.
Yes.
And that is where you need scientific advertising.
It's very powerful.
Check it out.
Check it out, man. Check it out, guys. Check it out, man. He recommends a lot of books. There's one book that he recommends that I got. This is a good one. The Copywriting Adweek.
Very important.
The Adweek copywriting book is a very good book by Joseph Sugarman. Joe Sugarman is a very good book too. Yes. So I want you to talk to the audience a little bit about headlines, because people play with it a lot, or some people call it captions. They just write all kinds of things in their content, and they're worried why they're not growing, they're not getting inquiries about their products, there's no DM. So why is an headline important as a copywriter?
There's a quote I saw, I think it's a book I read, I've forgotten the name, and it says that if you're spending $1 on advertising, at your headline, you've already spent 80 cents.
Is this guy that said it? David Ogilvy.
All right.
So Pascal, you say, and they follow all your books where they recommend that they get them, man.
Yeah.
Go ahead, yeah.
So when you are running an advertising campaign, people are reading a copy you wrote, whatever it is, whatever marketing material, the first one that is shown to them to bring them into your domain,
that's right,
is the headline. And if someone feels for a second that they already know what you are talking about, you've lost them. At the same time, if they feel that it is not relevant to them,
you've also lost them.
You've also lost them. At the same time, if it is not addressing something they are familiar with, most especially a pain or an interest, you've also lost them. That is to say that a headline needs to be specific and relevant. It needs to, when it comes to relevance, it needs to call people out depending on kind of what you are offering. It needs to be relevant. They need to feel that it's relevant to them. They need to feel like it's specific. And it needs to address a pain. And it needs to be shrouded in a little bit of mystery. You are not selling on the advert. You are pulling people in to your funnel.
Yeah.
An advert is not a good place to change someone's mind. It's a place to simply do one job, get traffic and attention. So when people are running ads, they are trying to sell on their advert. Like I said, it depends on what you're selling.
Yeah.
If it's something that can be gotten on a go, if it's a decision that they can make on a fly, sure, sell it, send them to a seller page or something. But if you're running a high ticket operation,
yes,
that advert is not enough. It's not enough. Please pardon there's construction going on outside.
It's okay.
So the headline, the goal is to bring people in. So if you're not spending yesterday I was writing a headline, or 2 days ago, it took me 4 hours to put together a headline. And what I had to do, because I've looked at how I can put together the headline without selling out what I'm trying to, the curiosity I'm trying to bring in. So what I had to do is I had to look up news. What is going on in those companies? What's going on in the industry? What are
Industry,
the
yeah.
current regulations? How does the president, the new president in the United States, how will it affect this? So when I put all these facts together, another thing, I use AI a lot. I might Google something, I might not get, I'll have different sources saying different things. But if you use ChatGPT Premium that can go
Yeah.
online, it can put those resources together and give you the facts in one place so that you
Yeah.
can refine what you are looking for and actually go after the actual sources. So when you pull together information from news outlets, you can piece it together, find a big idea, and attach it to your headline and still achieve what you want. It's a complicated process and it just takes practice to get good at. So,
It
but
is.
at the core, a headline needs to be relevant to the people you are reaching out to. When they see it, they need to know that this thing is for them. And it needs to be specific at what is for me, but what exactly is it trying to achieve? What can I benefit from this advert? And you need to keep it as short as possible. There are some videos you'll be watching on social media. You look at the sounds, and the sounds will be synced to the movement of the actors. In so doing, a headline, depending on what you're selling, should sync with when you are speaking, when you are reading out your headline, allow it to sync with how the brain works. You need to use your punctuations properly. So every time I write any headline, I read it, whatever copy I'm writing, I read it out loud
To yourself.
to make sure that it flows. No, you must make sure that it doesn't have any resistance that could trigger complexity in the mind of the reader. Everything has to be dumb and simple.
Oh, this guy's very good, man. Pascal, I hope you're going to start like a copywriting school at some point because you have a lockdown process.
I actually have. I've been getting so many requests on social media, so I keep telling people that I'm going to have a course out by January ending. But at the moment, I'm so busy with client work that I'm still at the course outline level. I've not even done anything because of my time schedule. But I will have a copywriting course January ending February.
Because you have a locked-in process that the greats have used in the past, and that's why I know that this guy is going to go very, very far. Let me share a story with you. So David Ogilvy, founder of Ogilvy and Mather, a great advertising company in the world, is still in existence. When he got the brief to do the advertisement for Rolls-Royce, he spent weeks in the library of Rolls-Royce, weeks researching and researching. It was from that research that he got a line that at the speed of, I think maybe, 50,000 kilometers an hour, the only thing you will hear in this Rolls-Royce is the sound of the clock. But brother, they run that ad for years, made Rolls-Royce very, very rich. So the guy said, as a copywriter, if you are not researching, you are not serious.
That's the main thing.
You are not. The guy say you are not serious.
And do you know the funny thing? We, as the modern copywriters, have more leverage
to research than them.
Yes.
You're very right.
You're
very right.
And when you combine their knowledge, the knowledge they left behind. The only advantage they have is that they were actually in the trenches, pulling facts out because of mail order. When you are doing mail order, every single thing you do counts for $1.
Yes.
You cannot afford to make mistakes.
Yes.
It's not like Facebook that you can just fund your ad account and continue your fund.
Yes.
Everything you spend, every impression you give a client, you've either lost them forever or you win them forever. Everything costs money. So they were in the trenches doing that research. It gave them the consistency to build up a pattern in their brain.
Yes.
That is something we don't have because things have become so easy for us.
Easy. Yeah.
But if you can put yourself in their shoes, you have the materials they have, the scientific advertising facts and everything. With AI, these guys will not see your back.
I'm telling you.
I don't
I'm
believe they
telling
are
you.
better than I don't believe they are better than me.
Yes.
I have the information
Yes.
they have, and I have information from AI and other people.
Yeah, you have leverage that they don't
If I
have.
can outwork them, I'll be better.
Yeah. So good. So powerful. So powerful. Now, the year is about to come to an end. We're starting a new year. God has helped you. You have really succeeded in your business. Somebody's watching us right now and say, I have goals, sales goals, business goals. From your own opinion, studying big brands and working with big brands, what does a person need to become before they can achieve their big financial goals for 2025? Because I believe that you must be before you can have. The Paschal I'm seeing today is not the Paschal 5 years ago. You became something else. You became more of a hardworking person. You read more. The way you understand the human mind is not the way you used to understand it before. You have to become something else. You work out every single time. I watch you. And I tell my wife and kids every time, anybody you see working out, respect that person. Because it's not the going to the gym. The person is very conscientious. Is hardworking because the person plans their day. To go to the gym means you plan. You go there. You are a disciplined person. Who do people need to be to achieve what they want to achieve in 2025 in their businesses?
Now, the problem most people have is when you're just starting out, a lot of times you don't even have clarity on who you need to become. Not even what you need to become. Who you need to become. You don't have clarity. You don't feel like you have a purpose. For anybody watching this, you're in that position, you don't know the next thing you need to do. I have two advice for you. That advice is look at who you don't want to become.
Ah.
Look at who you don't want to become. That is the first part of cutting off things that are holding you back before you say you want to become someone else. So the people that you don't want to end up like, right now, what kind of habits are they exhibiting? And look at yourself. Do you have those things? And what do they spend time on? The people that you don't want to look like, you don't want to become or end up like, where do they spend time on? Where do they get their information? Who do they associate with? Who do they vibe with? What kind of ideas do they entertain? Look at this information, apply it to yourself, see what you need to remove. A lot of process of we're already who we want to become. We are just overshadowed by who we don't want to become.
Hey!
It's all a process of removal, of cutting off. If I'm to get a sculptor, if I should buy a property right now and I should build a house, there is a sculpture that I'm going to have in my compound. I'm using this to hold myself accountable. There is this statue called the self-made man. You see someone that is inside a box. He's up, like his waist down is obese, up is shredded, and he's holding a hammer and a chisel, and he's cutting himself. I don't know if you've seen.
Wow, I've got to look for it, man. Now that you've said, I've got to look for it now.
This the man is the sculptor, and he's the stone. I don't know how to put it. He's both the stone to be sculpted, and he's also the sculptor.
Oh.
You understand? So a lot of growth process actually has to do with removal, a process,
and it's painful. And it's painful.
You are shaking off stones, you're shaking off skin, habits that you're already comfortable with, your pleasures and comfort.
Come on, brother.
So I believe that growth is a process of removing things first and then replacing it with something more meaningful. And in the process of removal, you begin to discover what needs to be filled in.
That's right. Oh, this
Understand?
guy, you're so wise, man. Wow.
So, for somebody that wants to become someone, 2025, your goal should be to what kind of habit do you not want to go into 2025 with? That is just
Yeah. Yeah.
And in the process of dropping those things and staying consistent with not bringing them back, you're going to find yourself naturally exposed to things that will come and change your life for the better.
Very, very good.
But if you are still
Very.
laden with habits that will not help, there's no way new things can come in. You cannot attract people that share similar characteristics. Those people have removed some things from their life. And when you have things that they don't have, you are now the person they don't want to become like. So they repel from you.
That's right.
The same thing you have to do. You look at people you don't want to be like, you repel from them. That process of removal, you don't want to be in someone else's removal process. So if you want to attract people, be like those people you want to look like. Become them, act like them, think like them. Be in a state of mind that they are in. And you attract people that are like that all over the world. And that is how your process of change begins.
This is so powerful. So. I mean, it also means that it's like whatever you want to attract, you got to be like. It's like your headline as well. If you want to attract rich clients, there's a way you should put the headline. So rich clients to come to you.
You need to be worth their time.
I like that. Paschal, if you had to start all over again, no clients, no networks, no relationship, this is Paschal. Now, knowing what you now know, what will you do to get your first 10 clients? 10 paying clients?
Instagram. I mean, I did it. I can do it again. In fact, February this year, I was with 0 clients. And the client that signed me, who I'm still with up to today, I don't think I had anything to... I just came to their business. I looked at his Instagram profile. He tagged his company on his profile. I went to the company. I saw their funnel. I saw what they were doing. I opted into their email list. I saw the emails that was coming in there. And I took the initiative to write some of those emails as a copywriter, something better than what they were doing. I packaged those things. And instead of sending it to HR, instead of sending it to a hiring manager, I went straight to the owner of the company and showed him a problem and gave him the solution for free.
This is good.
Now, I looked at his post. I monitored his account. I looked at his Instagram stories. I saw the people he was tagging. I started investigating those people. Those were his friends. Okay, those friends, which of them are associated with the business that could aid decision making to bring in a new copywriter? I found some guy. I reached out to the guy. It happened that the guy was his personal assistant. And personal assistant is closer to the owner of the company than even the marketing managers and whatever.
Yeah.
So I reached out the guy, followed the guy, so send the same copy to him, post it. So the guy is not the decision maker, but it's like a wife to a husband that works well with the wife.
Yeah, that can influence the decision.
That can influence the decision making. And that
100%.
was how I landed the clients. And guess what? That same personal assistant was a career personal assistant that is a personal assistant to other business owners. And this guy has just been linking me to different clients.
Yeah. I remember when you were saying something about when the first, is it $1,000 or something came, you jumped, you showed your brother, you refreshed your page, you refreshed the page, you showed your brother, like, are you seeing this?
No, this brother of mine is someone that is rooting for me so much.
Is he like your biological brother or just like your friend?
Biological cousin.
Wow.
So I came into Lagos with less than $300 or $200. Maybe say 500,000 naira, 400,000 naira.
Where were you living prior?
Oka, Anambra. When I finished, I finished at Unizik, Oka, and then just like most young men, you don't want to go back home.
Yeah.
There's nothing to do. You have to. That was when I started trying my hands on affiliates. That was when I started trying my build. I got a laundry, hired staff, all those things, trying different sorts of things. Everything failed. The market is not big enough. That market there, it's a bubble. There is no potential right now at the moment for a brick and mortar for somebody that has dreams. So I had to save up and leave. And I came to my brother's. I started staying with him. I decided to overhaul my entire copywriting.
Life
Yes,
skill, yeah.
everything. I started from scratch. In
Hmm.
in
So
in in 11 months, I saved up enough to move to the island, get a house, furnish the house, get a car, everything in 30 days.
this guy is driven, man. I love it. I love
So
this.
it's not like it's so much of a big deal, something that people have not done. But coming from
Where you're coming
where
from?
I'm coming from, sleeping on couch,
Yes,
it's a
that's a
big deal
big
for
deal,
me.
man. It's a very big deal.
So
I used to sell recharge card on the street and then make a street in Port Harcourt.
here's the funny thing: I used to sell recharge cards as well. There is no business you want to mention now that I print.
Then Pascal,
recharge cards.
then I used to go to area market in Port Harcourt. I will buy all these business books and I will enter Olusegun Obasanjo Road in Port Harcourt. I'll be knocking on every bank selling books to them. In fact, I'll be telling them that very soon I will teach you guys from these books. They thought I was crazy. But they haven't. Yeah, so yeah.
You know,
So this is so powerful, man.
at those points of doing these jobs and trying hands on different things, trying to survive, I always knew that this was a story I was going to tell.
I like that. That's the good part.
point
From the
of-
get go.
From the point of washing cars, being a chef in a bakery, selling plantain, bro, there is nothing I've not done.
But you know all those skills they brought you here.
Everything converges into a.
So I can imagine if I see you physically, your clothes will be well laundered because you have that skill.
I don't.
I remember you saying that. You bought an artwork from somebody on the street. The guy was selling on those Lagos traffic. You bought an artwork, and then you were saying to yourself, "I wish this guy knew
Yeah, that is
that he can make money online." If you tell the guy, Pascal, you know, I used to live in Lekki, and when I'm going home, right, you will see all these guys selling books. I buy books from them, and I tell them, "Do you read these books?"
They don't.
They don't read it.
They don't. If they were,
That's the problem. I said, do you read these books? Because if you read these books, you won't sell this book on this street for a long time. Oh. Even if you think I'm going, you should read. I am telling you, you will not sell this book for a long time.
I see somebody.
Pascal.
I see somebody selling, Rich Dad Poor Dad, and in my mind I was like, if you read this book, you quit tomorrow. You quit this night.
I'm telling you, they don't read it.
And figure out something else.
Some people sell Russell Branson's book, Traffic. All those. They are selling the book on the road. I'm like, yo. You know why?
Well,
That's hunger. That's that drive.
it's not there.
It's not there. Pascal, let me wrap up with you because I don't like this to pass more than 45 minutes. Great. Pascal,
Okay.
I like your outreach. The way you just got that your first client is so powerful. Many people don't have an outreach mindset. And it is a problem because without outreach, you can't even get these copywriting clients. You can't even get clients for your business. I want you to speak to outreach now. Because right now, maybe the way you are right now, you get a lot of inflow of deals because you have built that brand.
Yeah.
A lot of referrals. So you don't do the out like you used to. Maybe if you have a team, it's the team that will be doing it, and if you've taught them, they'll not be
now actually.
exactly. You're outsourcing the outreach now. I want you to speak to outreach before we wrap up. Why is outreach important, and why is it important people get a simple outreach system for their businesses?
For somebody just starting out, there are 3 phases as a copywriter. The first phase is actually learning. Second phase is getting clients. The third part is retention.
Mm.
Retention. People don't
Mm.
understand retention. You might start getting a client in the past, and 1 month later, 2 months later, you lose them. It's just become a cycle. If you are reaching out to clients, you have two options. And the second option is just like saying a high ticket offer. The first option, which I always recommend, is a foot in the door. Offer something so simple that is helpful just to prove competence.
That's right.
You don't make an ask. Start from $300, $500 if it's your first time. Get them. It could be to set up an email stuff. It could be to just write them like a welcome sequence.
Yes.
Whatever it is, just prove your competence. Once you are into the system, you've gained the trust, their money has entered your account, and you've delivered. That trust issue gap, which is a big deal, you've broken it off. Then investigate their business dealings and offer them solutions and sell more. Keep selling.
Yeah.
You can right now. I have been selling to one particular client for a year. Even if
Beautiful.
you go that anytime he wants to do anything copywriting, he doesn't go anywhere else because I now have his loyalty. In fact, this Christmas I reached out to like my best clients and I was like, I'm doing pro bono. I'm gonna do anything, any free work and stuff because they've not returned to me in a while. So that's like my re-engagement sequence. I'm gonna do something free for you guys this Christmas. One person showed up, I did the sequence and I submitted it just to refresh their mind that I'm still capable of offering value. So if you are just starting out, reach out to people, find a solution a problem you can solve, offer something small when you now enter the system. So Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, all these places are good channels for outreach. Personally, I use Instagram. In fact, I wrote an entire book on Instagram outreach system.
Yeah.
So when people come in, you can go to LinkedIn and find businesses. Find the owners of the businesses, come to their personal lives on Instagram or come to Twitter where they're doing thought leadership and connect with them. Make yourself familiar at different touch points. Then enter their DMs. Send them something for free. Hold on, allow it to marinate for Instagram policy. The next day, 2 days later, go to their comment section and tell them you've sent them, in a way that won't trigger Instagram. They check it out, look at your profile, need to optimize your bio. Sometimes when I'm reaching out to a client, a high-value client, I optimize my bio only for them. People might have their Instagram bio to attract different people. But when I want one person as a client, everything, I look at their business and I tailor my Instagram bio. So my Instagram bio is different depending on the time of the year or the time of the week.
That's a great idea.
That bio, people on Instagram will not know. People coming to my Instagram, they will not relate. But I'm trying to be relevant to just one person. My Instagram bio is loyal to one particular person.
I like that.
For that week. So that my campaign can be tailored to him and only him for the week. I just want them to move me to their primary tab. I just want them to respond to my email. And once I get them to understand what I do and I have an upfront conversations with them, then I switch the Instagram bio for another person. Then I can continue nurturing that relationship later. So these are things I've gone extensive on. People think there is a magic. It's just a simple being.
There's no magic in. There's no magic in this thing, man.
Being a human being and connecting with people on a bro level.
Yeah. Paschal, you are extremely good at this thing, and I'm happy that I interviewed you now in this stage of your career. It's not a prophecy. You're going to be very, very big in this thing. I'm seeing that like Dan Kennedy level, man. Really, really big. Russell Brunson level. Like you have a signature product that Africans will use, just like you're using ClickFunnels today. I see it's very big because you have the fundamentals right. you have the fundamentals right. I just trust God that God give you the great team, people that can buy your vision and run with it, because you've got some. If you start your online course, please just, I want to know, I want to pay, I want to attend it. But for your book, I'm going to put it in the show notes so that people can buy the book and read it, and put all of your Instagram stuff, your TikTok, your LinkedIn, all of those things. I put it there so that people can follow it, because you are a wealth of knowledge. I mean, you bless me a lot when I look at your stuff. So thank you very much for coming on the podcast today. I don't know. I mean, this outreach I'm talking about is the same outreach I used to get guests on this podcast. People ask, why do you get all these big guests? This is the same thing. Marketing is a skill. You can apply it to any area of your life. I've interviewed people on this podcast. People say, how did you get them? It's the same thing. I said, dear man. That's how I got Paschal. I never met him. That's how I got this big man. He just sent a DM.
Funny thing is that, do you know, some years ago, I was in your funnel.
Wow. Small world.
I was in a low ticket offer, a Zoom kind of program you put together to help people with sales. So I've been on your stuff, I think 2-3 years ago, but I have been on I think I even have I might have a screenshot somewhere.
Wow.
Understand? So
small world.
Yeah, it was a kind of a cohort that you put together. You were taking
stuff. Yeah.
So
I've been in the game, man, but Paschal, now I'm like a student to you now.
Oh my God.
I'm like a student to you now, you know. I tell all the people, if you don't have the humility to learn, you are done for, man. If a young man knows something more than you, man, you better sit yourself down and listen. That's life, man. I like, this guy knows this stuff a lot more than me, man. I gotta listen. So yeah, thank you so much for coming. I'm really, really grateful that we had time to do this. Paschal, I always ask my guests this question: if you have a friend or someone that you know that you feel should come on this podcast, like Paul, like bro, I will put that call for you. Who would that person be? And I'll ask you another question again. I want you to give me, what headline should we call this episode? Let's put on copyright in the test.
Okay.
So that we jump, because the last guy I interviewed, that video has 242,000 views on Facebook alone. That means, Paschal, I'm trying this copyrighted things for small. So Paschal is saying, we have put me on the spot here.
So when it comes to recommendation, have you had Wogu on this?
No, I've not had him on the podcast.
Do you know him?
I see him a lot with you, because I follow you a lot, you know. So I see him a lot with you, yeah.
So Bruno is another person that is doing something entirely different that is unusual in the internet space. So Bruno is a high ticket closer.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he gets on calls with foreign clients and gets them to invest a lot of money in programs, in products, in different projects. So he's the person that would put that call, and I'm pretty sure he would show up.
Brilliant. That'll be very good. That'll be very good. So what should we call this episode? Banger! Let's go, brother.
So for us to get people in, I'm looking at different things right now that doesn't necessarily mention money. Mentioning a figure is a cheap, easy way to get views. You can say, from sleeping on a couch, from the couch to a $5,000 a month agency.
I love that. That's a story framework. I love it.
Yeah.
I'm going to use that. Let me stop the record and then we just a little bit. So officially the podcast episode. Guys, if you're watching this on YouTube, smash the subscribe button. If you listen to this on Spotify, click on the subscribe button on Spotify. If you're listening to this on Apple Podcasts, click on the plus button, the follow button on Apple Podcasts if you're listening to this. I'm going to put Paschal's stuff on the show notes. All right. I'm doing a 5-day Make Sales Challenge. Starts from the 10th to the 15th of January. The link is going to be there as well. Joining 500 people attended that class this year and opening the cohort for next year. Noella Martin sold a house on day 2 off the back of attending that class. I worked with a company this year on Q1 of 2024. One of their sales ladies that she did $42 million in sales. Everything is recorded, is all there on the internet. So you want to attend this class, your life and your business will not remain the same again. Let's go. Boom. All right, Paschal. Oh, Paschal.